Alright, I've done a few teams with Hailey in Dark Starlord, and I think I've settled on the team. I got a pretty good score, 17.7 million. My highest is 17.9, so I'm almost breaking the high score. It's not gonna give you an insane score just by getting Hailey alone. I'm putting her in the team 1 because she has S1 defense break and also the Molten Hot debuff. This together is a minus 80% defense, which means you can run your Hall on DPS set and your Biondina also on DPS set. So they actually end up doing quite significant amount of damage. For team 1, my old team 1 can get about barely 3 million, but with this team it can get around 3.4 to 3.5 million. If you have an Unas, you can replace Unas with her. The problem with increasing your team 1's damage in Dark Starlord is that when you ramp up the score to like almost like 4 million, the boss will move too quickly and you cannot keep up with the poison debuffs. So if you cannot keep up with the poison debuffs, then the boss will get this buff. Yeah, this one. The boss will get this Shadow Embrace, and the more Shadow Embrace stacks that he has, he will receive damage reduction and also AP push whenever he gets his turn. So yeah, that's the problem with pushing S1 team 1's damage. If you push it too high, you cannot keep up with the damage, you cannot keep up with the debuff, and then the boss will start getting a ton of Shadow Embrace stacks. But yeah, this team is pretty safe to reach 3 million. Sometimes I think the highest I got was 3.6 million, and the stacks doesn't really add up that much. I think that 3.6 million I got was with 2 stacks. Yeah, like I said, if you have an Unas will be better in this team, because Unas also AP pushes your team, so you can keep up with the poison debuffs. The problem with this team is that you add damage to your team 1, but you don't add any utility that can help you increase the number of poison debuffs that you can apply with Kara and Hall, right? You can with the Smelting Mastery, but it doesn't really help that much, because when you use Hailey on the relief set, Hall will get the relief set buff, and his normal attack does not have any chance to inflict poison. He only inflicts poison when he assists with his passive, and that's not using his S1. It does help a bit if you can extend the fight to give the Smelting Hot buff to Kara. Then Kara will have the relief buff, and she can proc the S1 and apply more poison stacks, right? But that will be a lot lower along the lines, because Kara will have the 3rd highest attack in the team. So for there to be a Smelting Mastery buff on Kara, your Hailey would need to cast the S3 3 times. So that's like around 12 to 15 turns that your Hailey needs to take, depending on your skill ups. She does add a bit of damage to your team 1, and it's also quite safe. And the reason is because of the defense down and the Molten Hot debuff. Dark Starlord gains a bunch of defense, and that's why you can't really do damage outside of like defense ignoring units. But because of the defense break on her S1 and the Molten Hot debuffs stacking additively, you can end up doing damage with your Biondina and your Hall. Yeah, this one we got unlucky. We hit 2 stacks on the boss early on. Okay, my Hailey has cast the S3 3 times, so now my Kara has the relief and the counter set on her, so I can keep up with the poison debuffs better this time. Okay, there we go, 6 stacks on Dark Starlord. We got unlucky early on with the 2 stacks, and yeah, take a look at the damage. Hall doing 1.5 million. I'm gonna remove the team 2 and team 3 just so it's easier to see the team 1 damage, and it ranges at around 3.2 to 3.6 million, while also maintaining a low stacks on the Dark Starlord. There we go, 3.3. Hall doing pretty good damage. I'll do a few more. I'm not adding the other 2 teams because the Embla team has an insane amounts of RNG, so we're not really going to focus on the overall score, but just the team 1 score. So yeah, 3.4 million. I'll do like 4 more, see if we can get any higher than that. Yeah, 3.1. So far, it's pretty consistent to score above 3 million. My old team can sometimes score 3.1 million, I think the highest, and then the low end is around like 2.7 or something. There we go, 3.7 million. Yeah, it really depends on whether you can keep up with the poison stacks or not, because if you can't really keep up, then it is going to hurt your team 2 and team 3, because the Shadow Embrace buff on the boss carries over to your team 2 and team 3. So if the boss has too many stacks of the Shadow Embrace, then your team 2 and team 3 will have less damage, and then Dark Starlord will also get more turns because he also gains an AP boost whenever he takes his turn. So yeah, real quick, this is the runes. I think it's better to run Kara on the Ocean set, but I need someone to have the Harmony set so I can boost the damage even further. And also you want your Kara to be, if possible, you want your Kara to be the highest attack in the team. So maybe run attack speed so that she can have the highest attack in the team. So you can keep up with the poison stacks easier. And then your Clara will be on the Ocean set. Doesn't really matter what 2-piece set you give her, and also what main stats. As long as she's in the team, your team doesn't really die. And then Hailey is on DPS set, crit damage, defense, and speed. You want her to be on the relief set, so once she casts the S3 the first time around, your Kara, Biondina, or Hall will get a relief and also counter chance. And then your Biondina is going to be built with damage, so crit damage, attack, and speed. 2-piece set, better if you run her on Brawler set, so you can add a little bit more damage if you can get the crit rate up to like almost 100%. 100% will be ideal because I don't have any crit rate buff on this team. And then I'm using the Astral set so that I can reliably remove the buffs on the boss, because sometimes the boss will have 2 buffs and you want her to remove all of the immunity buffs. And then Hall is on Thunder set, fiery, again better if you can run the Brawler set on him, so he does a little bit more damage on his S1, but you want him to be at 100% crit rate. In case you're wondering, these are the rest of my sets on my team. I didn't really change any of their sets. They're still running the same set. I also tried Hailey with Ambla. Didn't really add much because the team 2 is already like stacked. Can't really add too much to it. I tried to remove Brewster and then put in Hailey to give Ambla like 2 equipment set effects, but it didn't really add much. And then I also tried Hailey with Tang Xuan and also Tever. It didn't really do much. I think the score was around 4.2 million at most on my Tever team. So I'm better off running her on team 1. That can guarantee me an increase of within 400 to 700 score from my old team 1 team. Hailey is not that big of an impact in Dark Starlord because in team 2 and team 3 you can't really run her because you only have like 75 turns. You want to have a huge burst of damage in that short of time span, but in team 1 you do have a lot of turns, which is 150, so she can cast her SD a fair bit of times to give the effects of what she is wearing, equipment set effects, to almost all of your allies. So yeah, that's about it. Ciao.